Appreciate everybody coming on. I really, truly do. Obviously, you probably are in need of some kind of help out there. Maybe you're on here because you just want to, find out what in the heck's going on at the farmers market. I'm going to be all serious about this. Okay. So, as I always never usually am, I want to tell you the farmers theme, we always try to have themes whenever we do this. But we actually had one person in our company. We have over 300 people in our company. We had one person who really asked, they said, so are these insurance agents that just represent farmers, right? They really thought that. And we just thought that was so funny. We thought that's going to be the theme of what we're going to do out there. Now, the rest of our team obviously knew the difference, but someone actually did not know that. So we thought that was kind of funny. And so we decided to use that as our theme for kind of helping you understand some of, what we do, also what Trish has experienced. And obviously, a lot of you may know her. She's a farmer's agent. And then we also have Athena Page on here. I always call her Miss Page. She's our head of sales and marketing. You may even see her famous videos that you may see out there because she is kind of famous. We try to keep her head small, but she's really excited about how popular she is. I want to make sure that everybody's being let in, so I don't have to deal with that, if you would. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you a little bit about what we do. We're going to get a little bit of information from Trish as well. She's an insurance agent that's using virtual employees. I want to let you know that I am the CEO of this company, but I have a complete leadership team. What I do every day is what you do. I own the Insurance Alliance down in Southern Illinois, right on the Illinois side of the river from St. Louis. I can drive like 10 miles that way and I can see the St. Louis Arch. But I do what you do every day. I'm an agency of about 1.6 million in revenue. I've got 10 employees. 4 of them are virtual employees. 2 from the Philippines and 2 from Colombia. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. We've been using virtual employees in our agency specifically since 2014. I was way ahead of the curve because I recognized the power of using them. Getting high quality talent in your office that's sometimes hard to find in America today. And then in 2021, after dealing with 3 or 4 virtual employee companies, which are called VAs, virtual assistants is what they call them. We call them virtual employees. In 2021, started my own business because essentially I was tired of everybody else not understanding how agents really work. And so me and my business partner, Travis, started our agency. I also have the #1 podcast in the insurance industry, Agency Intelligence. And that was also another need from my listeners and supporters that would call me and say, hey, where can I get virtual employees? I kind of felt obligated. And so from there, we have now created Virtual Intelligence. And that's kind of where we're at and what has led us here. It seems like Farmers recently has blessed you guys by allowing you guys to entertain having virtual employees, and I applaud them for that because they'll be very instrumental in your office. I promise you that 100%. Athena, is there anything that you want to add to what we're talking about here?
No, just a quick intro. My name's Athena. I'm head of sales here at VI. When you do decide to hop on a demo and get to hear a little bit more in detail about what we do, who we are, you will be meeting with me. I also take care of finding the right candidate to place in your agency. We'll get to go through the whole hiring interview process, onboarding together. So I'll be with you every step of the way.
Trish, yeah, maybe not everybody knows you. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Trisha Roberts. I'm an agent in Southern New Mexico, and I have been an agent for 5 years now, a 4 years toppers agent. And I started using my virtual employee. I was on the pilot program with farmers for the virtual assistant. So I started using mine in, I think, 2 or 3 months ago. I've had Selena for 3 months, I think now. And so on the pilot program with farmers, it was they weren't sure when they were going to open it up to everybody. So that is officially open as of November 17th. And I'm really excited to not only be on that program, but also be working with virtual intelligence.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Trisha. I really, really, truly do. If any of you have any questions, please put them in here. Put them in here, and I'm going to ask you a question real quick. put YVE. If you already have a virtual employee in your office, put YVE out there, or put NVE, so we kind of know. Want to start off just by clarifying, we do not call them virtual assistants like the rest of the industry does. Marvin, in my office, we do a lot of commercial, very large commercial, and we do a lot of personal lines. Marvin in my office, who's my personal virtual employee, he handles my $6.5 million premium book of commercial lines business. I don't consider someone that does that an assistant. We consider them employees. They come to all of our sales meetings. They come to all of our service meetings. We have growth meetings is what we call. There's not a meeting that they're not allowed to come to. We do roughly around 1,300 tasks a month, and over 80% of those are done by our virtual employees. That is very possible. So before I get into this, I want to remind you there's 5 things that you do in your agency. Okay, and there's 5 things that I do in my agency that make up 65% of what we do every day. Whether you're an independent, whether you're a farmers, however it may be, it's the same stuff. It's COIs, it's quoting, it's renewals, it's billing, it's now here I am. I forgot the 5th one. I apologize. It'll come to me. Did I say renewals, quoting, billing, and then endorsements? Endorsements, that's the one. So you have those different types of things, and majority of those do not require a license. So you really have to start thinking about that when you start thinking about virtual employees, and understanding that you're still getting a 50 to a 70, $80,000 type employee for far less than that, but you're still getting that same quality. So that's just something to think about in this world today. So if any of you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Trish and or Miss Page will be watching that. If you want to go ahead, and I'll go ahead and forward this. Let me just, there it is. Okay, sorry about that. What I want to do is we kind of playing on the theme of the farmers market. Okay, and so you'll find out my team is very, very creative in the way that they do things. We're going to talk basically about the fresh picks, from the prep to the plate, no bruised produce, freshness guaranteed, and always in season. And we really kind of want to walk you through this market and utilizing that and symbolizing that, how we utilize VEs in that process. Athena, anything you want to add to that?
I would say that these are pretty much just the 5 basic steps that we have found that work the most for us. And with some of Jason's experience, I mean, this was developed based on trial and error, and we've seen it work, and we will continue to make these processes better as we go as well.
Yeah, we also call them our VIPs, which is our very important process, protection, productivity, professor, all these different people, all these different types of things. But trying to rebrand it in for you guys there in a different aspect to keep it fun. Now, this is our fresh picks. It's really important that you understand that the people that we go after are high quality. Not only are we, and everybody's going to tell you that. The difference is we provide high quality. Meaning an average VE out there can be paid $1 to $3 an hour in their country. And don't get me wrong, that's good money. That seems very poor to us, but that's actually decent money. Ours start at $5 an hour before they even go through training, and most are paid $8 to $12 an hour. What does that mean? That means we have to pay more to get high quality. One of the things you may experience if you happen to go another place, is that not only do you get higher quality, when you get higher quality, they stay. You don't want to take 2, 3, 6, 8 months and be training somebody, and then they decide to leave because they got something else for 25 cents an hour more. And we experience that a lot when Travis is my business partner at the Insurance Alliance. We experience that a lot. So we have a C1 English. I want Athena. Athena is in Colombia, the country. She is Colombian, and I want you to, Athena, would you kind of describe what C1 means, because they don't probably know this.
Yeah, of course. So there's different levels to English proficiency. We usually don't. We do try to find those candidates that fall within the B2 to C1, which is the most proficient level of English. So very good reading comprehension, attention to detail, strong vocabulary and grammar and dictation as well. And I did want to elaborate a little bit more on the selection process when we do get these candidates in. We have about 1,000 applicants monthly, and about 3 to 4 applicants actually make it into our portal for client review. So they go through a very rigorous filtering process. They go through 3 interviews with HR, managing directors. They go through an assessment where we test all these aspects that you can see on the board right now: C1 English, different skills, anagram, personality test, time management, attention to detail, etc. And we also do require for them to have some type of experience with US clientele, so they also do understand our work ethic. So that's really big for us as well.
That's important. And on that English proficiency, it goes A, B, and C. So we're going after the C's, and one of them being, that's why it takes so much for us to filter through that. That's a very, very important that you understand that. And I see your question coming in there, Caleb. I'm going to answer that here in a minute. But we do want you to know they are interview and screened, as she said, very rigorous. So they have to go through background tests and way more things than I guarantee you we probably put our English employees through, or our American, excuse me, I should say. They are skills tested. I think that's absolutely huge. They do come with experience, not every one of them, but the vast majority of them come with experience working with American clientele. That is huge because you may not experience that. This is important. It helps build the culture gap. When they're not coming into you just learning how you do business here in America, they already have some understanding of that. That's a very, very important thing.
I
Now,
think it's also, sorry, Jason,
no,
when
come on.
people come fresh into the idea of hiring a virtual employee, a really big question they ask, or what we see, is that they're very skeptical on the quality of candidate. So I'm also curious to hear a little bit from Trisha if she was skeptical about the quality of candidates that maybe we had in the portal, and to hear if the fact that having an interview with them made it easier to choose a virtual employee.
Good call.
It was really easy because once I got into the portal, I could listen to the interview that was already done. So I think that was kind of covered, but there's a video interview of how, when Virtual Intelligence has already interviewed them, and I got to listen to that. I wasn't skeptical because I had heard on the demo just the quality of candidates that were there. So I had an open mind, but I did get in and I listened to every single one. And I was actually so confident in Selena from her video interview that I didn't even do a second interview. I just clicked to hire her right then. My office and I sat and we watched her interview, and rather than scheduling a second one, we actually hired her right away.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's great. As the CEO, I love hearing that my darn self. So thank you. That's really good to know. Yeah.
That's why it's also so important for us to have that initial meeting with the agency owner, so we get to actually hear what fire they need to put out within their agency, and we're able to select and hand select these candidates, place them in your portal according to what you actually need.
Wow.
Yeah, and to add to that one, I was looking for somebody to call renewals and let them know they're coming up for renewal. Do they want to schedule an FFR? And so Selena had background in making calls to that, something like that. And then when I had mentioned that to Athena, she actually swapped out a few people in there for me to have better fits.
Yes, that's true. That's true. If you don't have anything else, Athena, you can. Was I switching it or were you switching it? I think
I'm switching it.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Now, one of the other things that I think this is going to kind of get a little bit to what Caleb was saying. I do not see it switching on my end, so I apologize for that. I got to hit sync to presenter just now. You can tell, guys, I do this all the time. That would be a complete lie. All right, so right here is from our prep to our plate. This is vital, okay? Majority of the people out there are going to have a week to 3 weeks worth of training. So you're going to see here, TK, that this is to answer your question out there. We put them through 8 weeks of training. Now, after 30 days, they're in your office. Okay. So I want to stipulate that. But for the first 2 weeks, they're learning what it's like to work in an insurance agency. They're learning over 180 insurance terms. They're learning about insurance technology for the first 2 weeks. I always like to say, if you say basic, intermediate, and advanced, they're coming in at a very basic level. Someone off the side of the street, you're going to have to explain to them what replacement cost is. Someone that comes in, they're going to have a very basic level of what replacement cost is, just to give you kind of an example. Okay, so you don't have to worry about training them, but yet you do. In the third and fourth week, we are going to take, as it says there, we're going to take your SOPs. We're going to take your top 5 to 7 things. And if you don't have standard operating procedures, that's okay. 80% of agencies don't. We help you create those. And you're going to sit down with our team and we're going to say, what are those 5 to 7 things that you want them to do? And how do you do it in your agency? And we are going to specifically train them on those things. After that, they're going to be in your agency. It's now been 30 days. They're in your agency. And the trainer that they are with, which has usually got anywhere between 3 to 5 years of working in an agency, the trainer is going to stay with them for the next 4 weeks. Are those SOPs being done exactly like you wanted? Are they comprehending what they're doing? Are they working well with the team? These are going to be things that we're going to do for the next 4 weeks. I always like to say it this way. Instead, if we're a plane and we're taking off, we don't get off the ground and let them go. We wait until you get to cruising altitude. We know everything's okay, and that's when we're going to pull back from them. So we get 8 weeks of actual training. TK, does that answer your question on what you're talking about and whether you have to train them or not? Be sure to tell me, because if you got any other questions, I want to answer your questions. But here's the most important thing. We can't create an expert in your office in 8 weeks. You still have to work with them as you go along, just like you would any other employee that you would bring in. The thing about it is you don't have to go through all the monotony of all that stuff. You can start to build immediately and have them working individually with the agent or working with your team, however your setup's going to be. Okay, Athena, I have anything to add?
More so a question for Trisha. What would you
Okay.
say like the time to ramp would be before you saw Selena, your V, like independently handling her service work?
I would say so she did the 2 weeks of training. We did have a little more time since we were on the pilot. That's hard to say because since we were on the pilot, we had a little bit of issues with the cloud, which farmers, we can talk
Mm.
about that more later, but farmers now has a direct IT department for the cloud setup. So we had a little bit of issues there. But I would say after we got that all figured out, probably 2 weeks, she started making her independent calls right away. I was listening to the calls, helping her with a little bit of direction. She worked with Shelby in my office that handles the FFRs, but she was on her own at least 2 weeks after she was in my agency after her training with VI.
That's awesome.
And I want to answer Keith. Keith says, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. Neither do I. I'm with you there. Are these VEs already familiar with common SOPs or do you have an insurance manual? We can train them on common, but we want to train them on your SOPs. And you may say, well, how would we do that? I'll tell you, it's not very tough. Let's say you're going to use them for quoting, okay? And what you do is you open up, you can use a loom. And once again, I think my team can give you better, but I'm just telling you this is the very basic way of doing it. You can open up a loom, something that records your screen, and you go through and do the quotes. Then you give us that video and we create the SOP for you. And then we utilize that to train the VE. And then the trainer makes sure that the VE follows that. That would just be one example of how we do things. And Athena, I'm speaking out of my league. Would you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you've got it.
Okay. So
One
that's
thing
the
to add, if you don't mind.
Trish, go
I'm
ahead.
pretty sure there was also training on agency Zoom and a few other CRMs, correct?
Yes,
Because I
yes,
know
yes.
Selena received, yes. So I use agency Zoom and Selena was able to get training on agency Zoom before she came in.
That's right. How many of you use AZ? Put AZ in the chat. I want to tell you right now, this is Jason Cass bragging. I think I'm probably in the top 1 to 5% of agencies, captive directs, independents that use agency Zoom. We have a whole team built out for that, and they've been built out from virtual intelligence. Our agencies from virtual intelligence that are using AZ are top of the line. There's no doubt. I mean, not from day one, but we can be able to help you build that VE into that. We're going to talk a little bit more about that through our LMS, our learning management system. So yes, that would. And then this one here, does corporate count them towards staffing requirement? What does that mean, Trish?
Sorry, I'm muting myself. We have construction going on outside, so I don't want to make a lot of noise.
That's okay.
So Farmers has staff counts for prime and bonuses that you have to hit. I would say no because they are not licensed. I'm pretty sure that
Okay.
staff counts are only for licensed reps. So no.
Oh wow. So so if you have a licensed person, then they have a requirement that gets put on them. Is that what you're saying, Trish?
No, so you as an agency, depending on your size, and hopefully I'm explaining this correct, but so we have you want to hit prime. Prime is the biggest thing right now. And so if your agency is a certain size, there's a certain number of employees you should have from there as part of your KPI points.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. I'm an insurance geek, self-proclaimed. I love learning about this stuff. So there you go. No bruised produce. I think that this is kind of cool because this is, I think, where we also excel. A lot of competitors, a lot of companies out there are going to throw a Terramind or an Active Track for $20 a month onto the VE's computer and going to say, well, here's what websites they're on. That's not what we do. We are actually providing multiple facets here. So we have a company called Lightspeed Solutions. It's a third party. You may have heard of a Lightspeed Voice. They're the largest phone company in the insurance industry. They have like over 4,000 insurance agencies. They have a sister company called Lightspeed Solutions, and they are going to put the lockdown on the computer. This is going to be able for us to monitor the computer. This is going to protect you from cyber liability. This is also going to help us with tech support. So if your VE has any tech support, they're not going to be bothering you. We have a whole tech department team that we can utilize for virtual intelligence. And if we can't fix it, it goes up to Lightspeed Solutions and you're going to have that total tech support. I always like to tell agents we spend about $140 a month per VE to make sure that you are secure and how you should be. Same way that I would have them in my office. So we use the same exact system. I think that's the same one that you should be using as well. And anything else there, Athena, that I'm leaving off?
I wanted to touch base on protection because we also do make sure that to make sure your agency does stay compliant because our virtual employees are not licensed. We have created an SOP starter pack and an activation guide that we will be sharing with each and every one of you. That pretty much just has and lists every single task a VE is able to do, which is over 57 that we've found now at multiple agencies. And also an activation guide that will show us absolutely everything we're able to take care of and where we'll have your agency jump in to help us with the tech activation as well.
That is really cool. I have to tell you that's something new that we've done. Athena was telling me the other day about that. I didn't even know we were doing that. So I applauded my team for doing something like that. And all you AZ users, I see it in there. I wonder if you're just using AZ for leads or are you actually using it to manage your tasks, right? Because a lot of people use it for the leads, but the actual manage your task and route them to the right person. Maybe you're an agency of 2, 5, 10, 15 people. It's making sure that when you're utilizing AZ, that you're routing the task to a licensed person, routing them to a virtual employee. And even now we have virtual employee bots that are doing it that are managed by virtual employees. But what's important is that when you route correctly with AZ, the licensed people don't even know some of the stuff that's being done because a lot of the stuff doesn't require a license, right? And your virtual employee doesn't even recognize the licensed stuff that needs to be done because it gets routed to the correct person there. So just something that you can look at. Like I said, we utilize AZ. Tolga was the owner of it in 2018 when we first started using AZ. Really built it out. And if that's something that you're concerned about or you want to know more about, we're the top of the line at it. I promise you. You want to do the next one, please?
Yes.
Hey, Athena and Jason, can I touch on? I
Come on.
think that was answering Caleb's question. Caleb had asked about what they can do on endorsements. So anybody unlicensed cannot submit or bind changes.
That's right.
And so it could be put together and then reviewed by a licensed producer and then have to be bound or submitted by a licensed producer. And I think that answers his question because the things you cannot do without a license, you cannot bind, you cannot submit coverage, and you cannot talk about coverages.
That's
Explain.
exactly right. That's exactly right. And the VEs come trained knowing what they can and can't do. Just so you know, in our agency, if an endorsement or most new business quotes, a lot of our new business quotes, we allow the VE to take it. They just can't give advice. But if they're just collecting the information. But on endorsements, we have our licensed people on. They're collecting the information. We also use a system that records all of the phone call and then transcribes it into our AZ, puts it right in there with the phone call. so that at that point in time, once the licensed person does their job, that then is assigned that service ticket. If you're using AZ, I hope you're using the service center. That's actually assigned through a service ticket that then would be assigned to a virtual employee. The virtual employee can go in, put all the information in, make sure it's there, and then reassigns it back to the licensed person. So the good part is the licensed person is doing what they're good at, which is talking to the humans and making sure that the coverage is correct. But there's so many other little things that don't get done. And when we talk about the customer experience today, once that licensed person then fills it out, then our agency, once they okay it, it then gets assigned back to the licensed person, where we're sending out the ID card, we're sending out the templated emails that show the difference in the premium, we're sending out Google reviews, we're following up in 15 days to make sure in the company portal, making sure that that price was the same. These are all the things that we can't pay our people to do because they don't have enough time. This allows you to create the customer experience that the customers are demanding today, that they're getting from Geico, that they're getting from State Farm, they're getting from all of our competitors. This is the neutralizer. So for all of that. The freshness guaranteed. Now, remember I was telling you about these Terramines and these active tracks. We use a company called Insightful, another piece of software that we put on that's going to allow you to know what websites they're on. Is their mouse moving or not? Literally. What's their productivity? It gives a productivity guide that shows how productive they are. And we can help you. If they're not productive enough, we can help you understand, hey, here are some more things that they could be doing. If they're too productive, and believe me, we see that a lot, we have to tell the agency, hey, you might need to get another virtual employee because you're really overloading them. This is very important to have very efficient people. I can't remember what else it also does, Insightful. Athena, anything else that you remember that Insightful is doing that we use that for?
Of course, Insightful actually tells us what time the VE clocks in for work, what time they clock out, how long they took breaks for, what websites we can classify as productive or non-productive, because we do have virtual employees sometimes working in marketing or in travel softwares and stuff like that. We are able to classify certain as productive and build up their utilization towards those websites.
Yeah, that's actually very, very important. You may say, well, I don't want my VE on Facebook. Well, we can make that, as she was saying, not an unproductive website. But some of our VEs, that's what they spend a lot of their time on, as Athena said, doing marketing. So you wouldn't want them to be penalized on that. So we'll help you set that up to make sure that it's fine-tuned with your agency to make sure that the VE is doing what they should be doing. So yeah, that's that. I'm also looking over here at these questions. All right. Okay, so if a commercial, real quick, if a commercial client needs a COI with a new certificate holder, can they do that? In our agency, yes. Okay, so we have what's called a master cert. So we have the cert, you're probably familiar with this. We have a master cert that's set up. And usually if we get it by email or comes in through the licensed person, if it's just the cert holder that's needing added, yes, I will tell you right now, anywhere between 60 to 65% of the certificates of insurance that come into our office are processed by the virtual employee and sent back out. We have a 1 hour time limit. We are very strict about that. The other 25 to 30%, there's a contract that comes in or they need special wording, the VE knows immediately that's going up to the licensed person. That service ticket, it's getting reassigned back out to the licensed person. To the licensed person. They finalize it, do what they need to do, and they're either going to send it out or they're going to make it to where it's done and then give it back to the virtual employee. Because once again, it's more than just sending it out. It's making sure the follow-up that it was it done correctly? All those different types of things that are going to create that customer experience. I'll let you guys know real quick. I wrote a best-selling book called Customer Service is Just Foreplay. It's the modern customer experience that will separate you from your competition. So when I talk about customer experience, I literally broke each section down of the process when you deal with a customer from the very beginning to the end. And I wrote a best-selling book on it. That's why when I talk about customer experience, we're really, really huge on that. There's a huge difference between a 90% retention ratio and a 97% retention ratio. Tons and tons of money. So very serious about that. Always in season. Now I got to tell you, this is my team. This is how creative they are. When I saw this, I about busted up. So these are all the different things. This is our learning management system. So we have a system that you'll have access to, even for your licensed employees, that has over 400 videos in it. AZ videos. Maybe you're using Insured Mind or another CRM. I don't know exactly what your AMS systems look like. I believe it might be your own farmer system. I'm talking ignorantly there. I don't know about that. But these systems of how can we sell commercial lines? We have a whole commercial lines course in there that I actually taught. How to do audits, how to do COIs. Audits is something that a lot of our VEs are very, very good at. So all these different types of videos are in there, and even a lot of them have tests to make sure that they're retaining the information. You have access to that. We sell that as a side product for almost $200 a month, and agents just buy it who don't even have virtual employees with us. But you get that as part of the deal. So your VE is being trained on that. And then also, if they hear your licensed person is needing something or you hire a new licensed person, you now have a learning management system that helps them understand how your processes and how your workflows or your different technology work. And you can even see those jars over there. I just thought that was great. Agency Zoom. See, there's a little jar of Agency Zoom. That looks like some grape Agency Zoom there. And then we got some COIs, some servicing, and different types of things over there that we keep on the shelf. And then some of this stuff here, as you can see, we help the LMS, what it helps them with servicing, personal lines, and other type of softwares that might be used out there. Athena, anything?
We're good.
I'm good. Trisha, anything that you got at top of your mind?
I think the only thing to add is that your VE will have access to the university. So one thing Selena did after doing the training before when she started with us is she did do some trainings in the university as well.
Is the university your guys' thing?
Yes, Farmers University
U? Okay.
for our trainings. Yes.
Farmers U.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Well,
I think
so
I'm getting your questions.
Yeah, I left this slide open for kind of like a Q&A if anyone wants to turn their mic on, maybe hop in with some questions, additional to the ones on the chat, of course.
I think we got it. I'm talking about the chat. So if any of you guys have any questions, ask us the weirdest questions you think that we don't know the answer to, because we probably don't. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. So I also want to let you know, one of the things to know about this is we have virtual employees from two different countries. We use Filipinos. We also use Colombian. Now, I will tell you they're both great, okay? What we will find is skill sets. Believe it or not, we can have a VE in your company answering the phone within 30 days. And I promise you, when you hear how they're trained, you will say to the VE, I need that script that you learned because I need to train my licensed people on it. I did it. I had my licensed people answering the phone. Sophia and Ivana came into my life, and I realized that they were taught better than my licensed people were. And we now use that same method of training for anybody who comes into our office and is going to answer the phone, even though Ivana and Sophia. Now, a lot of you may say, well, I don't know about Jason where I live. I don't think, they probably like to have maybe a Latino answering the phone. Well, I beg to differ. I have 3-location agency. They're all about 70 to 80 miles apart from each other, and there's nothing but fields and corn and pigs in between all of us. Okay, so I'm telling you, we are in rural America, and we get more reviews, and when we send out our surveys about how great they answer the phone and the tasks that they're able to do immediately. So I want to, if you're thinking about that, that's important.
We did get a couple of questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to answer the first one from Aaron, and I think it ties together with another one that just came in too. Me, personally, I use Selena. She calls my renewals because our renewals were getting really backed up. Touching on customer service, we like to call our renewals when they come up, let them know what their policy is doing, make sure nothing's changed, all those good things. We started at having 300 to 400, almost 500 sometimes in our renewal list, and we did not have the time to work them. So Selena now has it down. I think there's 70 in our renewal list, and that's only because they're so far out we can't even schedule them yet because you can only make changes so far. So she is scheduling us 3 to 4 FFRs per day. Shelby in my office does FFRs, and now we know that survival rate is going to be part of toppers and bonus. My survival rate has increased. So if you look at your survival rate, and if anybody needs help on that, let me know. When you look at your survival rate, we had 20 to 30 cancellations a month in, I think it was June or July. We're down to 13 to 15 cancellations per month now that she is doing that. So not only has it saved us time, it is upping our retention, and our customers are happy with it. We've had a couple say, oh, she had a heavy accent. We explain what she's doing, but really we have not had any issues with it. And I mean, people are going to complain about anything, right? Somebody also asked if they're bilingual. Some of them are. I think more so in Colombia, they're bilingual. But we have had Selena, yes, speak Spanish to a couple people.
And there's 2 agents in an office. Can we share one person? Yes, yes. I mean, we have 4, and we're utilizing them for all different types of things. Yes, that's no problem at all. Somebody said something about a phone. Yes, you'd provide them a phone extension just like anybody else. So they have soft phones, so that are on their computer. The same things that we use. So when the phone rings at your office, it also rings right onto their computer, and they can answer it and talk and dial out and do everything just like they normally would. Absolutely. Billing is that was the 5th one I think I forgot. Billing. Billing is huge. Sophia and Ivana are fantastic at billing, where a lot of our licensed staff is like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. They actually find joy in trying to figure that out for people. And we use that very heavily by going into the portal, but also having to call the carrier themselves and utilize that. Keith, yes, this webinar is recorded. I might give it to you. No, I'm joking. We will. We'll absolutely let you see this. And then I want to be... do we pay them a rate set by the company, or we give them bonuses or raise based on how they are? Very, very great. That's a good question, Aaron. So we do love to have you join us in a demo. We really, truly would, so we can talk about your specific agency and what that cost is going to look like for you. We give them raises as well. Right now, at the end of the year, all of our team is connecting, with all the agency owners. We're usually going to ask that you fill out a survey and set a time, because we are going to give a raise anywhere between 3 to usually 7%. And we want to make sure, based on just more than a 5-star survey, that are they needing of that? Are they probably do they need some training? Is there some other things that we need to do? At the same time, we do have a lot of agencies that will pay $200, $300, $400 excess per month for the VE, because so that means that we're paying them, but that also means that when we pay them, there's another extra $250 or $300 that we add on every paycheck, because I'm telling you, they're absolutely astronomically great at what they do. So I hope that kind of answers your question there, Aaron.
And you're also able to make all the bonuses, or if you want to pay for your V's lunch on a Monday, you're able to do all of this through our portal that you will have access to year round as well.
You'll have your own customized portal.
I was going to mention that as well, because we did that for, there's different holidays, obviously. And so there was a holiday, I think it's almost like our Valentine's Day. What, Athena, it's friends. What is it?
Yeah, it's like a Valentine. It's friends and love and friendship. Love and friendship.
Yes. So we were able to send something through the portal to Selena for that. And something really fun that I was going to bring up is just how much these people are truly a part of your team. On that holiday, she door dashed us Baskin Robbins and sent us ice cream on that day. So I mean, she's just it's really amazing the relationships that you build with them. She's not, like they said, it's not an assistant. She's truly part of our team.
I'll tell you something. When we first got our first VEs a while back, our licensed staff thought we were trying to replace them. That was just the truth. They just thought that. They're like, why are we doing this? I kid you not, 3 to 4 months later, my licensed staff came to me and said, if you get rid of them, I'm going to, because I'm not going back to doing the stuff that I had to do that they like to do. True story. Absolutely true story. One other thing I want to elaborate on here as well, they are your employee. So just hear me out. Yes, they're our employee. Yes, you pay a monthly fee to us, but we consider them your employee. That means you tell them when to come to work. You tell them when to get off. You tell them when they have vacation. They talk to you if they need paid time off. Now, you start noticing things like, hey, we're having problems. And anytime they have time off, we know about it too. But if you have any problems, we're always there to assist with more training, or if they're taking too many days off, or you feel they're not being productive and we need to check the insight, all those different things, we're there for you. But we want you to know that we're not going to take them away for a day and say, hey, they're off for a day. No, because you're not off for a day. We consider them to be your employees, even though Uncle Sam says that they're ours. I hope that makes sense to you.
I think one thing that was important to me too when I did my demo is how they're taken care of. They're not just being paid the minimum wage in that country, because that minimum wage in our country is much, much different. And Selena did come to me and say how happy she is and how much more she does make than other people. And that meant a lot to her. She also, we had a paid holiday. I don't remember what it was, one of our holidays, and we told her, no, we're off today. And she was so excited about that. She was excited to have that paid holiday off.
They can't. They're very good. Well said, Trish. They're ecstatic about it. Hannah, I want to answer your question. We do not have part-time, but every part-time person who has come to us and says, okay, I'm going to see how this goes, but I don't think I have enough work for them. We can give you a list of them. Talk to them what it was like after 3 months. You don't realize how much, I say this a lot, you don't realize how much you're not doing that you wish you could do, but you can't because your people are already overloaded. I'll ask you this. Do you guys have any staff members that probably walk out the door at the end of the day pulling their hair out saying, man, did I get anything done? The reason is because farmers and you are putting numbers on them like, hey, we need to cross sell this much, or whatever those KPIs can be for you. But yet they don't feel as if they reach those KPIs because they're so busy doing other things that don't attribute to those KPIs. That's what makes them leave in the middle at the end of the day and say, oh my gosh, did I get anything done? When you pull that work off of them, they start hitting those KPIs, and now they start thinking that they're fulfilling what you're personally asking them and hiring them to do. It's a very, very important thing, but we don't offer part-time also because that would hurt us with our benefits. It's very important to know they're paid their health insurance, they have retirement, they have everything that a normal employee would have per the laws of their country. Very, very important to understand that. Thank you for asking that question, Hannah.
And us as business owners, this is now a subscription for us. So we pay the monthly fee and it shows up as a subscription. So when I sat down to go over our projections for the end of the year for taxes, right? Where am I at for taxes? What do I need to do? That was a big one. And that's my accountant said that's a big one because one, I'm not paying employee taxes on it. I'm not paying work comp, but then I can write that off as a subscription.
That's right. Just like you're writing off AZ. It's the same exact type of thing. Well said, Trisha. We're going to hire Trisha as well. She won't be working for Farmers long. All right. Do you provide E&O for the employees, or does it fall under ours? Very, very great question. Number one, to answer that, we have an errors admissions policy for us. It is what we consider excess, though, because the law and the way the E&O policies are written is that it's under your guidance and your protection. So it wouldn't have anything to do with us because we do know that, hey, there's these things that they can't do. So let's say that they were doing an endorsement or something, or maybe it was even something that they didn't have to have a license to do, but yet they still made an error. That actually falls back upon your operations. So that's a universal thing for all agencies nationwide. I hope that answers the question. But we do have one in case it's so in excess that yours would be exhausted, then ours would kick in. So hope you know that. Hope that answers that for you. How is there no work comp? Because we take care of the work comp. So first of all, they're sitting at their desk, but if they happen to be hurt, we pay taxes and we pay the work comp in their country. So let's say they're from Colombia. And as I said, Athena is in Colombia. If she's injured right now, she automatically has work comp through us as virtual intelligence. If that makes sense to you. I hope it does. But you're not having to pay that. You're just paying one set fee. These are good questions. You guys are asking a lot more questions than other people do, and I like it because I want to get right to the bottom of it. Okay. Anybody else have anything? You want to get on to okay. How has it worked with them not having access to Foremost?
I can answer that. There
Please.
is access, there is an unlicensed email. This is actually cool because I didn't know this for my own staff. I did not know this until I was on the pilot program. There is an email that you can email and request access to Foremost and Bristol West for your unlicensed staff. And I can share that email. I think it's the KC services or something like that. So what you do is you email them and you just request that access and you get access for Bristol West and Foremost for unlicensed employees. That was exciting for my own agency.
We have Foremost in Bristol West as well. So that's one of those farmers companies that us independents are allowed to write. So yes, and they use it. So just to clear that up, they have access to all of our systems. So all of our carriers, they have their own user ID, they have their own password. I don't know exactly how that is, Trish. You tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just saying that if a farmers allows it, that is allowed. They have their own AZ, they have their own, extension. We can't say it enough. They are treated just like any employee would be here stateside.
Yep, same, exactly the same.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get that email right now. Because I want to get that in the chat because that's really important for all farmers agents to have.
Yep. And then Athena, if we're coming up with more questions, you want to have some fun real quick?
I would love to.
Okay.
So we actually promised that every attendee to this webinar would get their onboarding fee waived as well as 1 month free, but we also have a very sweet surprise. So I'm going to share my screen really quick and we'll have a $500 sweepstakes.
Da, 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 da.
Can everyone see the screen okay?
I can see it. Yep. Lucky draw. Awesome. So we've loaded everybody's names in here and we're going to allow the computer to tell us who's going to win.
Awesome.
If you have any more questions, go ahead and throw them in there. We're not in a hurry to leave.
Is it showing up?
It is, but I don't see any names. Is it showing up for yours?
I have a Jose.
Oh, it's not on there. That's weird how it's not on ours. Are you guys seeing that? And I mean, mine's just blank, says white.
No, it's blank. It just shows lucky draw blank, like she's getting ready to click draw, and it's probably lagging. Maybe try to reshare your screen, stop and reshare.
Yeah, I bet you that's what it is. It's okay. Hannah's on it. She said nope. Keith said blank. In the God's honest truth, it's the first time we've ever done this. So that's where we just came up with this idea because we appreciate all these people being on here. It's weird. Is there a Jose on here though? And so you can't lie about it because it'll say your name. I was getting ready to type in there, yes, I'm Jose, but then okay, there he is. Okay, I think we just have to trust Athena because she's a pretty honest person. Keith, that's what I was thinking, Keith. That's the same thing I was thinking. I identify as Jose. If you stop it, did you stop your screen and then try to share it again? Athena, there she goes. She's probably doing that. If anybody else have any other questions, you can please throw those in there. Aaron, what'd you think? What'd you think about this, Miss Kirk? You got all your questions answered? Okay.
Did we get sound? I didn't get sound from her. Erin Kirk is a DM in New Mexico. She's a district manager in New Mexico. And so I'm actually going to connect her with Athena.
Okay.
So she can talk to her agents more about it too.
I like Jerry over here. He's wearing him a little cap there. That dude looks like me normally. There you go. There you go. Okay. Okay. All right.
Hey, Jason, Priscilla would like to know, how do we get started?
Okay. What you need to do is we need to put your email in if you would, put your email in there. Athena, who I think jumped off trying to restart this, apologize for that. Athena's going to reach out to you. So if you put your email in there, she'll get a copy of this chat. So put please call and then, or please email and then put your email right in there and she'll do it. Okay. So if you would, please email, I want to sign up. Okay. Just put that in there. Now I want to also tell you, this is a really good reason why we're doing, you get a free month. We normally do not do that. Here's the reason why, is because it's going to take 30 days to train them. So that means probably right around almost Christmas time, they would be coming in. Who wants to pay when they're getting ready to go maybe on vacation? So what we do is we gave you that first month for free. So your actual first payment, if you purchase today, 30 days, they'll be in your office. You really wouldn't get paid. You don't have to make your first payment until almost the end of January. That's the whole reason we did that. Because usually people are like, oh, I want to wait till after the year. Well, we want to get them trained now so that after the first of the year, you're ready to rock and roll. Okay. So if you're putting in there your email, Athena is going to reach out to you. If she doesn't hear from you, then she's going to call you because maybe it's going to spam or whatever. But she's Athena at virtualintel.com. I'll actually put her email in here for you.
There was one more
She-
question to while you're doing that. They said, is there a certain term contract we sign?
Aha. Most places are a year. I'm an agent. I want you to be treated like an agent. 30 days. You give us 30 days notice of cancellation, it's over. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. If you decide that you were like, hey, I want to leave you guys, but I want to take the VE, it'll break our heart. It really will. It break our heart. But if you decide you want to do that, we do have a clause in there through certain stipulations, which I'm going to tell you honestly, I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly what they are. You then could purchase the VE's contract and then move on. But we allow you to do it whichever way you want.
And is there a limit on how many individuals we can hire?
No, there's not. But I will tell you, every individual, every virtual employee, this is a good point because most of the agencies we have 2 or more. And your first one, and then I think you get $200 off whatever your price is. And you're going to have to talk to Athena on that. You get a discount on the second and the third and the fourth and all those like that. Athena, there's people in the, you went off trying to help get Jose money. Jose, we're going to get you your money. You got $500. That's awesome. Just for sitting here and listening. Athena, people in here want to sign up now. And so they put their emails in here. I told them that you have a copy of this chat and you can go ahead and give them a call and we can get them all signed up. And she's going to go over everything with you. She wants to talk to you about your agency. Now I'm going to give you a little heads up if any of you guys are ready, okay? The average VE is so highly qualified that when you get into the portal, she's going to give you a portal that you can go in and look at the VEs. They stay in there on an average of 48 to 72 hours, and another agent's going to grab them. Okay, so I want you to know that when she meets with you, she's going to go over your agency, what are the things you're looking for, and then she is going to give you 2 or 3 candidates and give you access to the portal so you can look at those 2 or 3 candidates. You can even look at others if you want, but you can look at those 2 or 3. If you like them, there's like she'll tell you, there's like a hold button or something. You can hold them for like a certain couple of hours, 12, 24. I don't know exactly how many it is. But after that point in time, you can interview them, and then you need to make a decision because there's other agents that will grab them who maybe already interviewed them. That's the only thing that we try to make perfect in our business, and it's very, very hard because they do go very quick. I also want to introduce you, if anybody's on here that cares, Mitch Gibson. He's on here recently. He is our CTO, our Chief Technology Officer, also AKA Agency Zoom Whiz. He's the one who's built it in my agency, and he has a whole team of AZ technicians to help you build out yours. Mitch, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello. Nice to meet you all. I did show up a little bit later half of this call due to another meeting, but wow, there's a lot of people on here and it's exciting to see. I'm glad you guys got to experience what you did today. It's a really cool thing. When I joined the company just about 3 years ago, I didn't realize how big of an impact this would have been if I had this when I worked at an agency previously. I still am considered a licensed agent, and being able to have the power of virtual employee in the hands to help me do quoting, to help me with email management. I have 2 of them that are my executive assistants actually. So for them to be able to manage my day to day and help me stay on track is a great key factor of me being able to do my job well. Not only do we specialize a little bit in agency Zoom? We do have specific training modules and courses that your VEs are going to be able to have the opportunity to learn during their onboarding process. So if you do use agency Zoom in your office, we have specific agency Zoom training on a ground level, kind of shows them around how to use the platform, how to build small pipelines. Nothing massively mastery about the system, right? But at least get them to understand so that whenever they come work for your agency day one, they at least know how to use the system and log in and operate operate the day-to-day operations in there. So excited to have those who do join us and come on board. And I'm always up for a 15, 30-minute conversation, see how we can strategize together. So I'm always here for you when you need me.
All right. And if you see, Athena put a link in there for book a time here. So you can book a time, or like I said, Athena is going to, it looks like she's got like 15 or 16 emails in here. So I want to make sure that you get in there because she's going to be very loaded. She was taking Thanksgiving off. Now she's not. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But anyway, so I do appreciate it. Trish, is there anything you want to close up with so that everybody can get back to their life, that they may have a 2 o'clock meeting or a meeting here soon?
I just want to thank everybody for jumping on. I think this is a really good asset to us, and I think this moves us forward as farmers agents. A lot of independent agents have a lot more capabilities than we do, and so I think this is helping us catch up. Farmers allowing us to have them in our dashboard is a huge, huge step for us. So I think it's important that not only do we take advantage of that and catch up with the independent space, but also use a company that is reputable, treats the employees well that they're working with, and has all the security measures set up, because hiring direct can be very, very scary if you don't know what's going on, all the laws in those countries.
Wow, security. I love, you just said security. I love it. That's my favorite words out of the CTO's brain, is if anyone says worried about the security, there's nobody more worried about it than we are. And myself, and knock on wood, we're doing a pretty good job managing that for everyone. So can trust us there.
Thank you very much, everyone. Athena will be in contact. If you want to talk to me, just let Athena know, but I guarantee you she's a lot better to talk to. She knows more about what's going on. So thank you very much, Jerry. Keep looking good, buddy.